Swallowing that red pill, we're taken to a scene of security guards clocking out. Immediately afterwards, a biker arrives and blows up that joint with the motorcycle. Guards freak out. Turns out, it's Trinity. They all engage her, but the cop batons are no match for a biker helmet. She's in.
I'm in.
This time smashing through some glass in sexy slow-mo, all the while having a gunfight with some other dude in a suit. They let lead fly as they fall down the building with glass shards. And with all those bullets flying around, one of them hits. And then she just violently crashes into a car, but wakey wakey. It's all a dream. Our man over here kisses his girl a sweet one and they get up to see a big ship passing by. In the ship, a captain and his first mate seem to be approaching something important, which is what the first mate is anxious about. Ship smoothly turns around and flutters up into a crevice. The captain then wants to know what Link's, the first mate, true intentions are for volunteers operating his ship, but instead he just makes a request to trust him.
I do, sir.
Back to our two heroes, where Trinity knows Neo's a little sleep deprived due to his nightmares. He shrugs it off and doesn't know what to do about it, and wishes that's what he's supposed to do. Apparently, they're all in the same ship, and Link comes by to mobilize the two.
We're already late.
In a sewer meeting, most of the attendants are dressed up in suits and shades. Then they discuss a plan to revolt against the next machine oppressors. Captain Niobe then gets interrupted by Morpheus. Along with Neo and Trinity, they're all conspiring against the same thing, how to finally defeat these machines. But Niobe says plans are still being drawn up. Suddenly, a man in a black car steps out, and then Neo senses that it doesn't feel right. He comes to investigate the disturbance, while Morpheus suggests a backup ship stays in their hidden underground base, so that if ever a mystical figure known as the Oracle comes to contact them, they'd all be ready, and he estimates that it could be done before 72 hours. That 72 hours is the time left before the machines find their hidden base. A few of them deny and question Morpheus's plan of action, but Morpheus remains confident in it. They give him the green light, and he has 36 hours.
You got 36 hours.
The mysterious man over here is asking the door guard for Neo, which he denies that he knows him, but the man has a special gift for him. And then the guard takes it to Neo. He opens it, and it's a hearing aid. The man said Neo set him free. Neo's asking the two guards to retreat. And now Neo says the agents are coming, and just on cue, they burst through the door. They call him an anomaly, and then the high-budget choreography is set in scene. Neo claims they got better.
Upgrades.
So he fights all three of them, being too agile for him, knocking him out one by one until he's outside and flies off. A few more agents arrive on scene, and Agent Smith is here, saying he expected their defeats, as if this all happened exactly the way it did before. Meanwhile, Morpheus and Trinity are looking for Neo while consulting Link to where he is, which he says that he's flying in the air. Neo's soaring at Mach speeds, landing on top of a building, where he goes to an empty and dark apartment, seemingly looking for someone. Back at Morpheus's ship, Link pilots it and is asking for gate clearance from Zion Control. They allow him in, and inside a huge hangar is seen, next to giant gears and machinations. We got this one dude at the big gate with some amazing mech. Link lands slowly and carefully the Nebuchadnezzar ship on the hangar. Then Morpheus, Neo, Trinity, and Link are all greeted by Captain Mifune. Morpheus has requested an audience with the council, so Link is left to prepare the ship. The two lovers are left to wonder about Morpheus's past. Then the bellboy arrives. He carries some of their stuff while walking and says he's eager to join the Nebuchadnezzar crew.
It's great to have you back.
Soon, Morpheus meets privately with Commander Locke to discuss the matter of Morpheus and him disobeying orders to return to Zion. Morpheus explains his priority was the Oracle, but Commander Locke disagrees, since he's desperate to stop the machine army. Morpheus says there's only one person who can save the city, Neo.
Neo.
Speaking of which, Neo and company get off the elevator and walk to a giant underground metropolis. Back to Morpheus' scolding. Locke is recommending to the council to relieve him of duty, and just on cue, Counselor Hammond visits the two and says he's going to speak tonight for the temple gathering to address some rumors, but not so much that it's going to start a panic. Morpheus is asked what should be said, and then he says that the truth should be revealed, because he's confident the machine army won't reach the gates of Zion. Well, he's really sure, because it seems that the machine army's getting pretty desperate. Meanwhile, back at the gang, Link and the bellboy hop off and Neo and Trinity are left with some elevator lip action. Soon they arrive at a floor where they're greeted with offerings and pleas.
They need you.
Trinity leaves them to attend to his audience while Link arrives at his family, greeted joyfully by his niece and nephew. Cass here warmly greets him, but his significant other, Z, begins to worry about his dangerous missions on the Nebuchadnezzar. Z's afraid of his ship because she's lost 2 brothers to that ship. Link says that he's made a promise to Morpheus, but Z thinks Morpheus is cray-cray. In the end, she just wants Link to be careful.
Careful, Link.
Somewhere else in a temple, Counselor Hammond starts his announcement with a prayer. Then he introduces someone who hasn't spoken there in a long time, Morpheus. The crowd's going wild.
I give you more.
Then Morpheus silences him. He confirms the rumors that the machines have gathered an army and they're going for Zion. He tries to rally Zion with a speech of courage, since it's been a century of war and they're still surviving. The crowd shares his courage and enthusiasm. Looks like there's not going to be any panic, but rather a taste for war. And then Captain Niobe invites him for a dance, but Commander's over here watching. Somewhere in the crowd, Neo goes to meet with Trinity, and boy is he clingy. Trinity then leads them both somewhere else.
Follow me.
While the crowd is just invested in a massive dance party. Truly a night of debauchery. Now the party's over. Somewhere else, some 2 stooges break into a compound, and then they answer a mysterious phone. The one who answers gets warped, and Agent Smith fills the other guy with a venom symbiote, turning him into, well, him. He too answers, and is also warped. This wakes Neo up early, and he finds a lot of offerings out on his front door. The counselor then visits him and tells him that he too is sleepless. So they decide to go for a walk to the engineering level of Zion. The walk they take is pretty isolated because no one really goes down there unless there's something to fix. And he talks about how these machines are trying to keep him alive while the machines above are trying to wipe him out. They get into this philosophical tangent about who's controlling between them and the machines. The counselor says he wishes he understands some of the miracles Neo can pull off. Philosophy 101 ends.
I only hope we understand that reason.
And some guys give a red card that claim to be from the Oracle. So Team Nebuchadnezzar gets packing. Before he gets going, Z gives him a superstitious necklace. Then he makes a promise to come back. Somewhere in the tunnels, 2 guys are stalking Neo and the crew, and then one of them goes in for the shank. Too bad they turn around and Bane quickly hides the knife. He offers him good luck. Then the bellboy gives a spoon handmade by an orphan. Commander Locke rushes into Counselor Hammond's office, and he's furious because the Nebuchadnezzar was given the green light to operate.
That is correct.
Commander needs every ship for the incoming attack, but Hammond believes otherwise. At the ship, Neo's plugged into the Matrix, where he meets Seraph. He knows Neo is seeking the Oracle, but first, it's time to test his might. The 2 go to throw some of the fastest jabs and kicks the eye can see, but both are a stalemate of strength and speed. Seraph is then sure that he's the one.
That you are the one.
So he leads him into a bright white corridor. They disappear from Link's radar, and it appears they're in some backdoor programmer access only. Seraph is just here to protect, as he says, and Neo comes to visit an old woman feeding pigeons. She seems to be familiar with him, and then it's revealed that they're both programs from the machine world. Of course, he's skeptical of whether or not to trust them, but the lady just says that he either accepts it or not. Turns out this lady is the Oracle. She offers him candy. Neo's reluctant, but then accepts the sweet. He's all weirded out why she's helping him, but she believes in a peaceful future between man and machine. She also reveals that every weird anomaly humans see, like ghosts and vampires, are just results of programs hacking other programs going rogue. Then she talks about Neo's dream of Trinity falling from a building, but the Oracle says it's Neo's foresight at work. Neo's overwhelmed, but the Oracle's insisting that he has to understand this power of his, or Zion's gonna fall. And their time's up.
Because you're the one.
The Oracle drops a tip to win the war, an entity named the Keymaker. Sadly, he's held by the oldest program, known as the Merovingian. The Oracle tips him off about where to meet him. Then Seraph and her leave. Enter Agent Smith, all pleased to know that Neo got his message. Then he blames Neo for making him detached from the system, effectively making him free. Soon they go about a philosophical tangent on purpose, and then a bunch of Smith clones come out of nowhere. Smith tries to venomize him and rob him of his purpose, but his powers suddenly lose effect. Time for Mortal Kombat, as Neo juggles all these Smiths at once. Fists and feet thrown everywhere, but Neo's just built differently and throws him back with way more agility, efficiency, and power. Soon a lady walks in and warps into another agent, but Smith warps him into his own image. And now more and more clones come to subdue Neo, but he keeps fighting on with finesse and style. He's trying to shake him off as they grab him, but then he gets thrown off. If there were only a pole. Here we go. He spins the pole like a fan, keeping him at bay with each swing. Smith calls out for more clones.
More.
and more of them start to rush in like water. A well-aimed jab sends Neo flying, and that stick of power is gone. Soon he gets swarmed, but his plot armor sends them all flying. He can't defeat them all, so bounces to fight another day. Neo exits the Matrix, surprised that Smith is multiplied. Back on Zion, Commander Locke tries to convince the Council of his own plan for survival. The Council gives him the green light, but they ask if the Nebuchadnezzar got back to him. Locke says they've been radio silent, so the Council wants to send more ships to rescue him. Locke's left frustrated, and Captain Soren answers the call to volunteer. The Council asks for another, and Niobe steps up. The meeting's adjourned, and Locke is appalled by Niobe's decision. Back at the Nebuchadnezzar ship, Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus all go to the Matrix. Neo says there's something strange about the codes, as if the codes were rigged to explode everywhere. Moments later, they get to Merovingian's office, and the assistant says he's been expecting him. The assistant leads him to the table of infamous Merovingian and his wife, Persephone. He gives out a pleasant welcome, offering food or drinks, but they're good. Merovingian says he speaks French because he loves swearing in it. All jokes aside, Morpheus gets down to business. He wants the Keymaker, and in the spirit of philosophy, they touch upon the illusion of choice. Then he makes him turn to watch a woman eat this cake, showing off Merovingian's specialized code. And now Neo sees what he's up to. Out of causality, he orders them to run back to the Oracle and tell her that her time is almost up. Well, Neo can't accept this, and the meeting's over, so they're escorted out.
This isn't over.
Suddenly, Persephone goes to him and asks him that if they want the Keymaker, they have to follow her. You see, Persephone's tired of Merovingian's pompous antics. So in exchange for this Keymaker, Persephone wants something. A kiss.
Excuse me?
She wants to feel that love again. Yeah, of course, Trinity pulls out that gun, but Morpheus is asking her to stand down. If she betrays him, Trinity will annihilate her. They lip lock, and she says it was terrible, so our boy puckers up for the real thing. Trinity gets this entree full of NTR. Persephone envies Trinity, but nothing lasts forever, so she leads him to the Keymaker. Well, wherever he was hiding, his place at least has taste. Persephone eliminates one of the guards and lets one free? Oh well. On a secret bookshelf, they gain access to a secret sewer, and there he is, the Keymaker. She leads all of them out, and there they meet with Merovingian and his people. Well, he's pissed, but she says the real reason for her betrayal is his adulterous nature. To him, it's a game, so she agrees and leaves. Merovingian wants the Keymaker, but he gets spooked, so they chase after him while Neo handles Merovingian and his people. They all go full auto on Neo, but those amazing skills make him stop bullets in the air. Bullets are dropped, and Merovingian gives the word to end him.
Kill him.
They rush at him, but thanks to his breathtaking fighting skills, he handles it relatively well. The Keymaker's seen rushing away while Morpheus and Trinity are after him. Back at the fight, Neo's getting hurt, so he gets some size to help out his fighting cause.
You see, he's just a man.
The goons are struggling despite having weapons, and he gets a sword to go to town on them. It's a flash of steel and blows soaring around. Neo game ends them all. Merovingian then makes his escape while Trinity, Morpheus, and the Keymaker try to escape via parking lot. But they're upheld by these ghostly twins. One of them gets the grab on Trinity and asks for Morpheus to drop his weapon, but he drops bullets instead. Trinity escapes, but so does the Keymaker. Morpheus asks her to stay with him, taking the twins alone. He distracts him long enough for Trinity to pick him up and they make their getaway. Neo arrives, but he's warped somewhere far away. Now he has no choice but to fly where Morpheus and Trinity are. Speaking of which, they speed through the freeway, as Link has given Morpheus exit directions. As the twins follow him, they start opening fire. Cops arrive thanks to the chaos they cause on the streets, so they're taking the scenic route. Soon Niobe's in the Matrix to provide some help. Sadly, the enemies gain some allies too, as the cops warp into Agent Smith. A whole reckless shootout ensues on the highway. Running dry out of bullets and options, one of the twins goes in their chair and a little backseat brawl takes place between him and Morpheus. And more trouble comes with the agent jumping on the caddy. Trinity tries to shake him off, but it seems like the twins are also enemies with the agents. Distracted, Morpheus takes a stab at him, so he's forced to ghost away and gets picked up by his brother. This agent gets rough with Trinity and she shows him the waters. They stop, and Trinity's asked to escort the Keymaker out, so they jump aboard a cargo truck.
Get him out of here.
While Morpheus cuts the Ghost Brothers car and makes it explode in a sweet 4K slow-mo. The Keymaker gets a key for one of the bikes and flies off the truck and into the freeway. They zoom off, but an agent still tries to stop them. Soon they take over more cops, and then Trinity has to dodge a lot of cars on the opposite lane. She heads for Morpheus and gives him the Keymaker on top of the truck. The Keymaker hangs back, while Morpheus fights one of the agents. All physics, out the window during this fight. Who cares? It's looking super cool. Now Morpheus gets his katana back, but the agent punches it off him. And then he falls on a car. It's Niobe. The agent's about to delete the keymaker, but Morpheus launches Niobe's car, kicking the agent off.
Go kick his ass.
Another agent warps to the truck driver, and then another comes in for a head-on collision. The two trucks collide in utter destruction, but Neo saves him just in time. Back at Zion, Commander Locke and his crew detect the machine army drilling in, giving them 9 hours left before they invade.
I would give them a little over 9 hours.
Back at the Matrix, the Keymaker talks about the building being rigged with bombs. To shut it down, they need to shut down the power, and they have a short window in opening a core door, and it can only be opened up by Neo. Soon, Morpheus and Niobe's men mobilize. Back at Zion, the machines are beginning to trigger off Zion's alarms. Before the storm begins, Neo's asking Trinity to stay out of the Matrix. Then the machines mount their first assault. All this chaos, and Morpheus is still sitting on that chair. Niobe gets in the building and hacks it, but the machines throw an explosive to the ship, making him hooked to the Matrix. The plan still goes on, and they blow the power plant. A citywide blackout begins, so the Keymaker, Morpheus, and Neo head for the White Corridor. Trinity worries that they might be locked out, so she already breaks her promise.
I will not wait here to watch them die.
She zooms in the Matrix, and this was the movie's first scene. In the corridors, Neo and the gang get cornered by Smith and his Clone War army. It's a tight tussle, and Morpheus is almost assimilated. Nearby, Trinity finishes Niobe's mission and trips a blackout. It's right on schedule with the Keymaker opening the right door, and they all escape Smith. Sadly, the Keymaker got shot, so he gives the key to the exit after they do their mission. Neo takes the key and opens a blinding white light door, where he's taken to a room full of TVs. Here, we meet the Architect, the creator of the Matrix. Neo's then asking why he's here, which the Architect basically says he's a glitch in the Matrix. With this room, Neo sees all the choices he makes. Then Trinity gets attacked by an agent in another room. The Architect reveals that in other simulations, this is the 6th time they would have destroyed Zion. And then he reveals that his love for Trinity is what drives him. And he finds out that Trinity came into the Matrix to save him. Well, he's got two options. The right door leads to the future of Zion, while the left door leads to him saving Trinity instead.
The problem is choice.
Neo picks the left door. Morpheus is zoomed out of the Matrix and then sees Trinity hooked up into it. And so the nightmare of Neo begins with Trinity falling from a building. Neo zooms out of the room in a fiery blaze, and Trinity gets shot. He's flying fast enough to catch Trinity, and the agent is crushed. Neo rips the bullet out, and Trinity apologizes as she bites the dust. Neo then pulls a Star Platinum and just makes her heart beat again. They all get out of the Matrix, and Neo says the prophecy was a lie, and they have 24 hours to save Zion. Morpheus is all torn up by the lie of the prophecy.
I believed him.
Then a machine's preparing to launch a bomb to him. They escape their doom, but the machines are giving chase. Suddenly, it looks like Neo can stop them with his bare hands. They get rescued by another ship, and Neo is locked in a coma. In a ship meeting, it seems the machines knew what they were up to and planned against it. They said they rescued only one survivor, Bane. Time to pick a door, people, cause that's it for Matrix Reloaded. It should have stopped with the first one, but then God knows what happened. Why don't you let us know your comments with the hashtag Cinema Recap. This was Matrix Reloaded by Village Roadshow Pictures, starring Keanu Reeves, Carrie Ann Moss, and Lawrence Fishburne. Until that next glitch, farewell.